Here's a demo on how to put together a basic cube out of paper, or actually chipboard. This is chipboard. As you can see, it's a little bit thick, not too thick, but this is the type of material I like you to use for putting together the mock-ups of your packages, the actual final mock-ups of your packages. You can take your design, whatever design it is. In this case, it's a basic cube, and create your die line and then put your artwork on top of it. In this case, I don't have any artwork, just for simplicity. But you can put it on top. You can paste it on top of your board. So you don't need to print on the board, because the board may not have the right texture for your printer. But I think there are also papers for the Epson printer that are actually thicker than the regular paper. So you do have choices, but you can certainly take this and paste it on top. To do that, you can use a spray mount, or you can use this Xyron. This is really nice. I'm going to use a regular paper here, and you can just, it's wax, so it's not toxic like the other stuff is, but it's very easy, and you can use that. Or sometimes if you have a small surface, you can actually use the little glue sticks that the kids use. That's fine too. You do need to have certain materials. First of all, you have this cutting mat or cutting board. You do need to have a ruler. I prefer to have a metal ruler, because you can use the edge of it as you take your X-Acto blade and you use to cut to the edge of it, and you press the blade to the edge of it. You need a number 11 blade. You do need your burnisher, or it's a bone folder in this case. I like to have my roller at the end, to use at the end, and it's always good to have some tape, masking tape or drafting tape. They're all good. And what you need to do is to take your artwork and paste it down on your board. And it's good to take the tape and don't paste it, excuse me, tape it. And the tape needs to go to the corners. When you put it on the four corners, it's really nice, and it's attached, so it's not going to move. Now, I'm going to take my ruler and put it against the edge here and cut against the line that is a straight line. It's not a dotted line. It's a filled line. The line is not dotted. It's a solid line. And I will have to cut more than once. Usually 2, 3, or 4 times you have to cut to go through the thickness of the paper. It's very important to do that, because otherwise your paper, your blade may actually cut you. Many injuries have happened, so you have to be very careful with the blade. You have to be very slow. You have to do this very slowly. You notice that I'm not cutting the dotted lines. The dotted lines are the fold lines. So those are lines that are going to be folded. And when I cut through, I am going to start on the inside. You see this line? I'm starting on the inside of it, and I go all the way to the outside. In that case, there's going to be a crisp, sharp cut, and my corners are not going to be sloppy. Sometimes I can just eyeball things, but that's if you have done it a lot. And that's also if your blade is really sharp, because if you don't have a sharp blade, it's not going to work very well for you. The edges could be crummy and not so good. It's very important that when you are doing a mock-up, for it to be very clean, and precise. It has to be done in a very precise manner. You don't want to be sloppy with it. You want to be as clean as you can. And then after you put together your mock-up, there's always things that need to be touched up in Photoshop because some edge was not taking a good color to it, or some part was sloppy, or you had made a mistake somewhere. This is not the computer. It's very tactile, so you don't have that button that says undo, undo, redo. You don't have that. That doesn't exist here. So there are ways to clean up and there are ways to fix. If you had a problem, there are ways to fix things. So sometimes you can take a piece of paper and put it underneath and then cut through and tape it underneath, and then you can clean it up in Photoshop. So now I'm going to use my bone folder because I'm going to create my fold lines here, and this has to be done real hard to make sure that you make the right impression on your paper. Very important. And once you have these fold lines, life becomes a whole lot better. Whole lot better. And with this too, you want to go outside a little bit so your folds go all the way. And so once you're done with your folds, you can push this out, and then you'll see that, oops, you have forgotten to do some other stuff. So now I'll go back and finish the unfinished business. And this corner, let's see. See how everything comes out really nice? Because I have cut through the corners. So when I'm cutting, I go a little bit in. I go a little bit in and all the way out. Now you can take this and fold it. And if you pay attention, you will also notice that there are flaps in here. And do you see on the sides? You see these little flaps? These are for being glued to the inside of your cube. So here we go. Fold this and fold this again. And sometimes when you fold, you want to go back and take your, well, let me take this off. Sometimes when you fold, you want to go and take your roller and roll on it. Make sure it's really folded well. Or if it's a smaller surface, you may want to take the bottom of your bone folder and push on it. See how nice and neat that is as opposed to this one? There is a difference. So those little touches make a big difference in making sure that your package, your box, is going to look very precise and very beautiful. So once I take these flaps and put them in, my box is created. Of course, you'll have to glue the sides, but you get the idea.